You know that daily commuting misery, like the gridlock, packed trains, just sweating before you even get to your desk?
Yeah, it is the absolute worst.
Right. Well, what if you could bypass all of it for like a fraction of what you'd normally pay for a top-tier folding bike? Welcome to a deep dive into the newly launched ENGWE Zip. Today, we're cutting through the press releases, the specs, and, the gritty road tests to figure out if this budget e-bike could actually change how you travel.
I mean, the benchmark for this kind of last mile city commuter has, well, it's always been the iconic Brompton. But the ENGWE Zip comes in at 999 euros, or about 899 euros.
Wow.
Yeah, so that is essentially 2,000 pounds cheaper than its main rival. So the real question we're unpacking today is whether that massive price cut requires, a massive compromise in quality.
Right, because 2,000 pounds cheaper is a huge gap. But on paper, at least, the physical specs really hold their own. I mean, it has a patented 3-second triple fold mechanism, and it weighs just 16.9 kilos without the battery.
Which is incredibly light for an e-bike.
Exactly. You could easily, tuck this under a cafe table or just carry it right up the stairs onto a train.
Right. The engineering here is heavily focused on those specific transition points of a commute.
Yeah.
They've really made that switch from riding to walking to hopping on transit as frictionless as possible.
I get the portability for sure, but looking at the design, I've got to question the actual ride quality. I mean, it has these tiny 16-inch wheels and absolutely no front suspension. I just keep picturing a motorized shopping cart. Won't a single city pothole just completely shatter your spine?
It's a totally fair concern. Smaller wheels usually mean you feel every single bump, but the road tests highlight a surprisingly smooth ride, and it actually comes down to the frame material because they used rigid steel.
Wait, steel, not aluminum or something lighter.
Exactly. A lot of people think lighter is always better, but stiffer magnesium or aluminum alloys, they transfer shock straight up into the rider. Steel actually has this natural flex to it, so it absorbs and dampens those high-frequency vibrations from the road.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, and then they paired that steel frame with a Zoom suspension seat post.
Which essentially acts as a shock absorber directly under you, right?
Precisely.
And if you add in the hydraulic disc brakes and the torque sensor, which actually measures exactly how hard you're pushing on the pedals to deliver the perfect amount of motor assist, suddenly it sounds much safer and more agile than it looks.
It really does.
Yeah.
But honestly, where this bike flips, the script isn't the frame, it's a power system. So the battery is a 36-volt, 10-amp-hour unit that sits in a removable front bag rather than being built into the frame itself. And you charge it using a standard 100-watt USB-C PD charger.
Okay, wait, I want to pause there because charging a vehicle via USB-C sounds wild. I mean, we use USB-C to charge our phones. How does that even translate to an e-bike?
Well, this is where the PD comes in. It stands for power delivery.
Yeah.
Standard USB chargers max out around, 15 or 20 watts.
Right.
But power delivery is a protocol that allows devices to safely negotiate much higher power levels over a USB-C connection. So a 100-watt PD system can actually push enough current to safely charge a high-capacity electric vehicle battery.
Which means you don't need to lug around a giant, heavy proprietary power brick. That's huge.
Yep.
If you commute to an office, you just detach that front bag, take it to your desk, and plug it in using the exact same cable you use for your laptop.
Exactly. And the current flows both ways, too.
Wait, really?
Now, because it uses that universal USB-C standard, the battery bag also functions as a massive power bank. So you can use it to charge your phone or your laptop if you're, working at a coffee shop.
That is so clever. And, that modularity also creates this brilliant, almost accidental anti-theft system. Because if you take off that battery bag, pop out the quick release pedals, and remove the saddle, which literally takes seconds, you're leaving behind a skeleton.
Exactly.
Thieves aren't going to bother cutting a lock for a metal frame they can't power, can't pedal, and can't even sit on.
Precisely. You literally take the value of the bike with you.
So what does this actually mean for you listening? I mean, even if you never pictured yourself as an e-bike rider, the Zip represents a real shift. It's offering a genuinely practical, tech-integrated way to completely bypass soaring fuel costs and parking nightmares, all without requiring a massive upfront investment.
It definitely pushes us to think bigger, too. I mean, if micromobility vehicles are shifting toward being as modular and universally chargeable as our smartphones, how is that going to force our cities to adapt?
That's a great point.
Right, if you don't need specialized proprietary charging stations anymore, how will urban infrastructure and public transit be redesigned around that new reality?
Definitely something to ponder the next time you're stuck in traffic. Well, a huge thank you for tuning in and exploring this with us today. We really love digging through the noise to bring you these insights, and we're so glad you rode along for this deep dive.